Hello YouTube! So this morning I went and purchased the newly released Nintendo 3DS XL, which is the bigger version of the 3DS, and as it advertises on the box, 90% bigger screens. So let's go and do an unboxing video and just run through what you get inside and the actual console itself. First thing to note, on the box it does say AC adapter is not included, see back for details, which a bit of a disappointment, but for whatever reason in Japan and in Europe they've decided not to include an AC adapter. I think in the US they have, but you might want to double check that. The usual safety marks and original seal of quality mark on the side of the box. Nothing else in particular of interest. This is the silver and black console, and on the back we have a image of the console itself, along with the information saying that this console, Nintendo 3DS XL system, includes a Nintendo 3DS XL system, Nintendo 3DS XL stylus, 4GB SDHC memory card, AR cards and operation manuals, and again it gives you the note saying that this doesn't have an AC adapter. Also says software compatibility with this system, the 3DS, DSi and DS software, but not Game Boy Advance software. So let's go ahead and open the box. Oops. Now I have actually opened the console already, primarily just to get it hooked up to the internet, updated, and did a system transfer from my old 3DS. So the first thing you find when you open the box is the cardboard insert. There's nothing else inside the box itself. And on the top you'll find the usual plethora of AR cards which you got with the original 3DS. Club Nintendo booklet, customer support booklet, operations manual, parental guide information probably for 3D usage for kids, and a quick start guide. If you open up the box, you'll get the console itself wrapped in a little sleeve similar to what the 3DS was, and this is the 3DS XL. So as you see, it's the silver and black version. Got the two cameras, the microphone, the earphone jack is down here on the left, which you can see. There's a power indicator, a charging indicator, wrist strap connectors on either side. We've got the SD card slot on here. Now in this instance they give you, like I said, the 4GB. This is a Lexar SDHC class 4. Obviously doesn't need to be anything particularly fast. Is there a class 10s out now, I think. Wireless on and off. A stylus, which is a full stylus rather than the half stylus that extended from the original 3DS. You can see on the side here, this is the 3D marker on the side, but we'll open that up and have a look in a second. Wireless indicator light. We've got the right trigger, which is for camera, power, the cartridge slot, which is there, and in this case I've got Super Mario 3D Land. IR port, which we'll get to in a second. Left trigger. Then we've got volume up and down, and on the back we've got your serial number, usual, and some patent issues, etc. Some watermark or some marks to say it's classified for distribution in whatever region, and the Nintendo 3DS XL brand. So as we open it, the first thing you'll hear is, as I open it, it clicks and stays in a position, or clicks again, stays in a position, and then goes beyond that to like a flat kind of look. So there's that position, and then free to actually close. So as you can see straight away, the screen is massive compared to what we're used to. First thing I will notice, for an adult's hands, much more comfortable. It's not a heavy device, but just sitting in the palm of my hand, and actually where my thumbs would rest on the circle pad on the buttons, at least now my fingers are laid straight out and I can manipulate the buttons quite easily, compared to the old 3DS, which had them kind of like this, which gave you cramp very quickly. There's the D-pad, power button down here. This is the 3D button, which has a little click now as it turns on and off, and then you can adjust the depth of the 3D effect. Got little rubber grommets on the side to prevent the screen from rubbing on I guess on the underside of the console. And we've got the select, home and start buttons, and actually feel more tactile now, more like buttons rather than the plasticky effect that they had on the old 3DS. So if I get the console and turn it on, like I say, I have turned it on before just to run through all of the language settings, profile settings, connecting to your internet, and I also did the migration from the system transfer from my old 3DS to this one. So volume wise, if I turn the volume up, sorry, that's 3D, what am I doing? There you go. So let's have a look. So I've gone to Mi Plaza. Here is the original 3DS, and you can see the screen difference is whopping. It's a massive big screen difference compared to the old 3DS model. And again, just to emphasize, you can see here with my hands how I would have to hold the buttons. The thumb, the position of the thumb is a lot more awkward compared to what the new 3DS XL is like. My battery's running down on my 3DS, but that's not a problem. Volume wise, if I turn the volume down on this one, and if I go across again, I'll wait for that to finish for a second. So this is what it sounds like when it goes to the Mi Plaza. And if I do the same on here, so this is the 3DS. I actually think the 3DS is slightly louder than the. It's not much. There's not much in it, to be fair, but I would have expected the XL to have been louder than the original 3DS, considering the size. They could have probably put in some better speakers, but they're probably the same, to be honest. The other thing I would say is that the whites on the top screen, the white on the 3DS, the original one, looks more white than the XL. Looks kind of a creamy white on the XL. If I turn on the 3D effect, you'll probably see this as well on the camera. But there's the 3DS, and you can see this kind of shadowy effect. I mean, it's obviously a lot worse on the camera than it is when you're actually looking at it with your eyesight. But you can see as I move the console left and right, that little shadow effect that comes across. And if I move it up and down, you can see the same kind of shadow effect. So on the XL, if I do the same, it is there, but maybe not quite as pronounced as what it is on the original 3DS. And see how the camera is kind of picking up the shadows that go along. So what I'm trying to emphasize is that the fact still remains is that as you move the console, even slightly in your hands, you know, that kind of the distraction is there that kind of takes you out of the 3D effect, if you know what I mean. Of course, you can minimize the 3D to make that effect a little less if you can, but you can still see in the video there that as I do even slight micro movements, the kind of the shadowy effect that is there. It also depends on the background as to what you're seeing. I mean, when I played Resident Evil Revelations, because the screen was primarily black and with a lot of dark colors and everything else, it wasn't that evident. But when you're playing something like a Mario Kart or a Mario 3D Land, where it's a lot of bright colors, a lot of white colors, then it can be a little bit more distracting than most. So putting it there, it is obviously in comparison with the 3DS, which the battery is about to die. So I'll put that to one side for now. There it is in comparison with the old DS Lite, which is phenomenal, really. A big difference. For fun, here it is in comparison with a working Nintendo Game Boy. It's quite crazy to see how graphics have come along in the time the last 25-30 years. For even more fun, here it is in comparison with an Atari Lynx. As you can see, that's working away playing a hockey game, just showing off demonstration, but you can see the thickness of these things is pretty phenomenal compared to what they used to be. And this is the Atari Lynx, of course, an early 1990s console, but a big difference compared to the 3DS. It's hard to really show you this, to be honest. There you go. That's probably the best way. And finally, let's have a look. We have the biggest rival to the 3DS at the moment, which is the PlayStation Vita. So there's the screen size difference between the two. Of course, the Vita has a much higher resolution screen than the 3DS does. So you can see you can notice the jagginess of the image on the 3DS, whereas on the Vita it's a lot more crisper. So that's the unboxing video of the 3DS XL. It's, like I said, my impressions, it's obviously a bigger 3DS. It feels much more comfortable in the hands. I think I would enjoy playing it a lot more on this system than I would on the original 3DS, and that's it. So I'll just start up. Let's just start up Mario Land. Have a look at the title screen. So there's with there's with 3D turned off completely. And if I turn on the 3D, you can start to see that effect on the screen as I move across. You can definitely notice more on the bigger screen than probably would have done on the 3DS. That shift in your hands. I tend to play the game more so in probably in 2D than with the 3D, or with the 3D download, to try and minimize that effect, but to each their own. You can see the difference anyway. And there it is with it off. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and please rate and subscribe. Thank you. Of course, I forgot to mention the IR port, which I talked about at the back of the original 3DS, which we can see here. Of course, that was for this little device, which is the Circle Pad Pro, which was I bought primarily to play Resident Evil Revelations, and it made the game a hell of a lot more playable. So you can see you get the trigger buttons, the Z-axis buttons on the side, which I've gone through in a previous video where I unboxed this this peripheral, and there's the console obviously sat inside, and the videos. Sorry, the video. Let me just mute the volume. The control of how it felt in your hands. Now there is no way for the XL to fit into this because it's just too big. So it does have an IR port on the back of it, and there is, as far as I know, it has been confirmed there will be an XL version of the Circle Pad Pro. So, as you can imagine, this thing's going to be massive once it has a Circle Pad Pro in place. From a depth or from a width perspective, probably not. You see, it's not much more than an actual a Vita, but from a depth perspective, it's going to probably add on a hell of a lot to the actual console itself. So we'll see when that peripheral comes out, whether I pick it up or not. But again, that's just give you an idea of what to expect when the Circle Pad Pro XL comes out. Again, thanks for watching, and please rate and subscribe.